It is like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just got done at the psychiatrist's office. He says he can see a marked improvement in my presentation, which, to be honest, if you've ever been depressed and you don't want anybody to know it, you change your presentation. It's a simple thing you can do to try and fool someone. Well, I can't say I disagree with him. I feel a little better. I have had my medication changed, and I feel like I have a better handle on it, kind of. And by it, I mean my depression. I still experience days of where I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to brush my teeth, I don't want to shower. I'm just coming out of one of those depressions, and I hate being depressed. It makes me feel like shit. It makes me feel like I am worthless and I have no purpose. I can say over the last 2 weeks, yes, I have had depressive episodes, but I know my purpose. I know that I have a job to do, and I feel like I have been doing that job a little better. I've had my kids for almost 7 days, and that's remarkable because I usually only have them for 2 days during the week and then a weekend, and we alternate back and forth because that schedule works best for my ex-husband. I have really reveled in having my kids for almost 7 days straight. It's nice to see my effect on my children. It's nice to see how they respond to me as a parent, and how generally happy my kids are. Really happy kids, and it makes me really happy to see that. And it makes me happy to see that they're using coping mechanisms when it comes to their anger or their frustration, and they're naming their emotions, and they're not letting their emotions have power over them. And that's something that my 8-year-old has really struggled with. I love her dearly. She is a perfectionist, and I have learned over the years that I am a perfectionist as well, and I didn't know this. I didn't know I was a perfectionist because I never finish anything. Well, one of the symptoms of perfectionism is, I wouldn't say symptoms, one of the types of perfectionisms is, if I don't feel like it's good enough, I will not finish it. I will stop what I'm doing and be like, fuck it, I can't do it up to par, then why do it? What's the point? And I have a really hard time letting go of that. I also have a really hard time with road rage, and I'm driving to my friend's house for coffee this morning. My son even made a comment about my anger on the road. He's like, Mom, you need to say nicer things to those other cars. There's people in them. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got schooled by a 4-year-old. Shit. But back to the topic. My daughter is a perfectionist, and she gets really anxious when she's not sure if she's going to do something perfect. Now, I have noticed her quitting things because she feels like she's not doing them perfectly. And I've had to explain to her, I used to do the same thing. I felt the same way. And I'm still trying to work past it. But even if it's not 100%, you can say that you finished something. And that's major. That's major to be able to look at a task and say, this task is completed. I did it. It may not be perfect. It may not be exactly what I have envisioned it in my head. And it may not be up to my standards, but it may be up to somebody else's standards. And I had a really good discussion with my friend about reality. Somebody's perceived reality is their actual reality. And it kind of clicked with me. I'm like, my reality is that I'm fucking insane. And that is my reality. That is what I live in. That is what's real to me. And you're getting my double chin. Oh well. My reality is that my body is not perfect. So that's what I see, and it disgusts me. But my daughter's reality is that if it's not perfect, it's not worth doing. And that was my reality for a long time. And I feel like I'm slowly getting out of that mindset and accepting that it doesn't have to be right 100% of the time, because I am human, I am fallible, I am not always perfect. And there was a lot of pressure, not necessarily in my childhood by my parents, but there was a lot of pressure in my adolescence to be perfect, which is why I looked at my high school career and I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this up to your standards. Math is hard. I hate science. I can't do it. So I quit. I quit school in the middle of my junior year. I dropped out. I was like, and I am not a stupid person. I could have passed high school. I could have graduated. I should have graduated. But I didn't, because putting forth the effort was harder than quitting and taking a state test. One state test, and it basically told the state that, yeah, I'm smart enough to graduate or to have a GED. And granted, you can still do anything you want with the GED. It's still not a high school graduation. I still didn't get to experience the social aspect of high school that I should have. I should have experienced a lot of dances and football games and hanging out with my friends and going to the movies, but I didn't. I decided that my drug use at the time was more important than me graduating high school, so I'm not going to say I took the easy way out. I studied for my GED and I passed it with flying colors, and I did put that effort in, but I felt like I was not good enough to graduate high school, and that wasn't fair to me. I wasn't fair to myself at that point. I am good enough to graduate, and I feel like if I went back to high school, I would do just fine. But here I am now with a college education and a GED, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm actually proud of it. I'm proud of myself. I started college at 17. Most kids don't get to do that. So I feel like being a perfectionist has had a lot of impact on my self-image, and I hope not to pass that to my daughter. I hope that she and I can grow and learn together about how we function as perfectionists. So I'm at my friend's house for coffee right now. After this, I have to go to another doctor's appointment. So I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys have a good day.